Hello and welcome to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this happy birthday card featuring the happy birthday from the Blossoms in Bloom and using the large die from the many layered blossom dies. What I did is I cut out the large die from a piece of the white cardstock, and then I used it as a stencil to create the card. So I will show you how I did that. We've got a Granny Apple Green card base, Flirty Flamingo, and the white cardstock cut to 5.5 by 4.25 because I need them to be big enough to use the stitched rectangle dies on. And that's the largest and the second largest of the dies. So I've been using the sponges with Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, and Granny Apple Green. And I used the Happy Birthday greeting from the Blossoms in Bloom set in Flirty Flamingo with the smallest of the stitched rectangle dies. So what I did is I took a piece of white cardstock and I put my stencil essentially down on the card. And then I took my Flirty Flamingo and a sponge and I just held it down. You can use washi tape if you want to do this. I just held it down, did the larger flowers in the Flirty Flamingo, and just kept going around. I like the effect that the sponge has. It leaves kind of a mottled background, and I really quite like that. So I'm just going to continue around, dabbing and dabbing and filling in gaps like that. And then I'm done with the Flirty Flamingo for this step. I'll use it again, but I'm done for now. And then I am going to use the Poppy Parade to do the two smaller flowers on either side. I'm just going to make sure I'm lined up again. Just adds just that little bit darker piece to it. So to hold this down in the same place, there we go, and then just dab down. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to come in with the Granny Apple Green and I'm going to do the leaves. I'm also going to do a couple dabs in the middle because there's open spaces between the flowers and they could just use a little bit of highlighting. They are in the color that I dabbed, but they can do with a little bit more color. It's very subtle, but you can see it afterwards. And then I'm just going to dab the Granny Apple Green over the leaves all the way around. And even if they're a bit thicker in the outline, the white underneath really stands out with the, whoops, I'll just put that in the stamp. It really fills in the background. Okay, and I've got one more leaf over here, and I'm just going to dab that in like that. And then I will close this one up like that. Okay, so when I take this away, I now have the outline of the flowers. And each one ends up being just a little bit different. What I do want to do, I noticed when I did this one, in the bottom corner here, there's no ink there, and that's this corner here. So I am just going to take, I think, just the Poppy Parade and just ink up some color in the corner there, just so that when I cut it out, I've got the color. So for this one, I'm going to use the smaller of the two stitched rectangle dies. And I'm going to place this down where I would like it to be. And then sandwich it up. And I put it in an angle so there's no hard line going through the rollers. So I can run that through and then take it away and then Just gently push the card front out, just ever so gently, so we don't tear that small edge. So there is the card front. And now I'm going to use the Flirty Flamingo to cut the mat. And we'll just sandwich that up and pop it through. And from here we can build the card. We need to stamp the greeting yet, of course. Okay, so let's just ever so gently peel this away. Sometimes you have to find the spot where it starts and then you can go from there. I just slide my thumb underneath the edge and it pushes it out. And then you need to just peel the outside layer off. There we go. So that's done. The Flirty Flamingo that's still on there is from the last time I used it, and I used a piece of paper that was just the right size, so it was hard to peel out. So I'm just going to layer this up, and then we'll do the greeting. So I'm just going to center this one, drop it down, and then I find with the Granny Apple Green card base, it really makes the Granny Apple Green leaves jump. Like here you don't really notice them, but as soon as you put it down on the card base, they just pop right out. Okay, so we need to do the greeting. So we will do that in the Flirty Flamingo. I tried the different colors, but what I liked best is the Flirty Flamingo. So I am just going to ink this up, stamp it down in the middle, give it a good press, knock that off like that, run it through, and I'm going to use my small plates because it's easier for me to line things up on my small plates. And I'm just going to move that through just a little bit, just like that. Sandwich it up and run it through the Stamp and Cut and Emboss. You can get a mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss, and it's nicely portable, even more portable than the larger one. I just use my large one with the small cutting plates, especially when I'm doing these small pieces. I used the mini dimensionals and just popped them on the back. I put 3 of them on, and there we go, just like that. We have managed to scatter everything around today. So I'll just put that like that. And just find a spot where it naturally fits to put the greeting on, and then just pop it down when it's straight. And there we go. So that is how you do a happy birthday card using the many layered blossom dies as a stencil for your card. Thank you so much for watching, and if there is anything you'd like to purchase, please use the links below. Thank you so much.